Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Toddler Play Conference 2023. It is so nice to have all of you joining us this year. It has been a whopper of a year so far. So if we haven't met already, my name is Holly and I am the hostess for this conference. But if you are here with me live, would you do me a favor and just pop me a comment over in the comment box to just let me know that you can see me, that you can hear me. I can see on my screen that there are quite a few of you here with us. And I know that you'll also be catching the replay. So if you're here live, just comment that you're here. And if you're catching us on the replay, also let us know that you've been here. You can do that in the streaming side, or you can do that in the comment section underneath. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you all here with me. We are so thrilled to be running the Toddler Play Conference this year. We have just really amazing speakers and an amazing audience. Every year we have different people that come in. There's a lot of familiar faces that have been here for a few conferences. I see you here, Elizabeth. I remember you were with us last year, I think, right? But there's a lot of people that we see coming for several years in a row, which is so amazing, and then a lot of fresh faces. And I have to say, this year has been, on my side, just really fun to host because I've gotten so much feedback from you guys already. It's been a lot in the inbox. So if I'm a little bit slow on replying to things, it's just because we have a much bigger conference going this year. We have, I think, around 12,000 of you that are joining us, and there's always questions and things coming through. Oh, Elizabeth, your third year, that's amazing. Yay, that's so awesome. Okay, so today we are going to be giving you a little bit of a breakdown on some of the tech stuff. I know there's like always questions and there's a lot of components to the conference, so it's kind of understanding how each thing works. We're going to be doing a little bit of a workshop with some rainbow rice, and we're also going to be talking a little bit about one of the topics that came through a lot in the Facebook group and in the comments as you guys have been emailing me along the way. So let's get some of the admin-y stuff out of the way. So first off, we have giveaways that run every day during the conference. Today's giveaway is an amazing gift from a company called Hungry Cutters, and I'll drop in the comment box at the end a link for you to go and check them out. They are actually designed by an occupational therapist, and they really focus on the kind of developmental scaffolding and skills that are needed for, I think, specifically scissor skills, but really overall fine motor development. So they create the toys in a way that's like really engaging and fun around using our hands, and some of the things that we do with scissors, like these open and closing movements, that we don't necessarily get a lot of exposure to them in everyday life or in any kind of toy. So yeah, we have 2 of those packages being given away, which is super generous. We're really grateful to Hungry Cutters for gifting those to the audience. So how you get your name in the hat for those prizes is that you do your bingo card. So your bingo card, you should have had an email that has the link for where you go and grab this. And it basically has tasks for you to do, like joining on the live. So if you're here, you can come and tick off that box. Those boxes are like clickable. Once you download the Google Sheet, you'll see that there's like a little box at the bottom that you can just actually click it. You don't necessarily have to print it out if you don't want to. I'm so glad to see all of your comments coming through. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. It's so great to have you here. So yeah, you just need to get bingo line, pop it in the thread of the day. It's always called like #bingo. So if you go into the Facebook group, there's like a thing on the side that will have where you find the hashtags. Come into #bingo, drop your bingo card, and you'll get your name in the hat for that prize. We have some other really fun prizes from amazing companies that we're going to be sharing over the week. And we have a grand prize at the end of somebody joining my membership community, which is called Playful Pod. We do also have VIP tickets that we're going to be gifting away. So the more you interact and have fun, the better for all of us. I think this is one of the things that is so special about this conference specifically, is that we come together in a really like unified way. We have here parents, therapists, educators. And when I say therapists, I mean like quite around the board in terms of therapists from literally all over the world. And it's just incredible to see how much you all love children, how much you are serving children in whatever capacity you are, whether you're working with children or a parent, and some of these things that we are like commonly seeing together. So it is really a privilege to also work through all of that in the community, in the Facebook group, see how you guys are like being inspired by different things, learning different things, seeing some of the comments and banter and back and forth in the group. So Elizabeth, yeah, to win today's gift, do you have to have a bingo line completed? Yes. So I'm not giving the bingo card. I'm not going to announce it right now. It will be announced tomorrow. Yeah. So basically, the bingo card will count until 8 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time that you can submit for today's prize. And we'll have another thread for tomorrow's bingo. You need a different line. You can't submit the same line. So then tomorrow you can submit if you have another line done for that line. Okay, so we talked about the bingo. The swag bag is some printables. We're going to be using some of them today as we're doing some rainbow rice. This is also on the same page where you would find your bingo link. So anywhere in your emails that you see bingo, you'll also see the link, and it's posted in the group a couple of places as well. But the swag bag is just some fun spring-inspired printables that you can be using as we are going through this learning process. Facebook group, if you haven't found the link for it, it's on all of the daily pages. There's many little buttons there, like come join the Facebook group, which you can do. And then we will be having lives like this every day of the conference. So at any point, if you have questions or anything that you want to discuss, you just let us know and we will put it into the live. While you're here, also please subscribe. If you're here watching on the YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe. It does give you, I think, another bingo block that you can click off. And it really helps me in my business. Okay, so I think we are going to go from here into our fun, practical side of things. So rainbow rice is what we're going to be doing today. And I want to talk about a few different ways that we can be playing with this. It's one of those things that it was like super popular in 2020. And actually, I'll ask you while you're all here, has anyone made rainbow rice before? Hi, Nia. It's nice to see all of you. So if you've made rainbow rice before, if you have like a bag like me, this is, I think, the bag that I made like 3 or 4 years ago that we're going to be talking about today. Give me a thumbs up there so we can see. One of the things that is great about rice specifically is that it does last really long. And so this is not a sensory kind of material that we're going to be throwing away. Of course, if you're working in a school situation, you need to just kind of figure out how you do that in terms of cleanliness and all of that. I actually was planning to like make this here with you, and then I completely forgot to buy rice. So I don't actually have the ability to make it, and probably it's better because I have quite a few bags of this and on the border of too much. So basically what you need is like a Ziploc bag. You need a packet of rice. It can be any kind of shape of rice. And you need a little bit of vinegar and food coloring. The food coloring specifically, it's much better if you have an oil-based color compared to a water-based color, because it will just spread and hold the color a lot better. So you put your rice into the packet. You then put like a dash of vinegar and a bit of food coloring, mix it all together within the Ziploc bag so it doesn't make any mess. Spread it out onto some paper, and you can either just leave it like that, or you can put it into your oven for a couple of minutes on the lowest heat setting that you have, just to dry out the rice. And that's basically it. It's that simple. And to be honest, even completely plain colored, no rainbow with it, is something that children will love. So if you don't have the colors, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Children there is a reason, not for whatever reason, love to play with something like rice. So what we're going to be doing today is looking at, I have this little tray here. I often use actually like bigger bins when we're doing stuff like sensory rice, especially with younger children. There are lots of like those underbed bins. There's also ones that you can put for like all of the IKEA kind of kids supplies are quite a good size. This is a smaller one that we just paid to the bottom, and that is because my kids are a bit older now, so we use this for like drawing letters and copying things like that, and then also for play because it's smaller. They're older, they make a little bit less mess. So what we're going to do is basically just pour this in. It's going to make such a great noise. Hear that rice pouring. Okay, so you're going to want to pour this into your container, And then I'm taking here the sheet that is in the swag bag, which has all of these like matching cards. Yeah, it's totally fine to not color it. So it has all of these matching cards. You can do this just with putting the matching cards into the rice and not have the other sheet, or you can have it that this is next to it and they have to dig in the rice, take out a card and put it here. You could also do, like, if you have any kind of small object toys that are in this, like a flower, you can also do that and get them to match it like that. This is more of a structured activity. But what it often then would lead to is really free play, which is really suitable for something like rice. Okay, so you just dig them all in and then cover them, and that's it. So I want to tell you the little secret though for rice. You see it, like, it's kind of like that, it's hidden. But often when children are playing with something like rice for the first time, what I'll hear is that they were like scared or they didn't want to go in, and the parent was wondering, should they put their hands behind the child and kind of direct them in? And I would say the best thing that we can do for sensory bins, I love this idea, Miss Mary Berry, to put essential oils. That's so nice, lavender or lemon. That's a really nice idea. That the best thing that we can do is not force children's hands, but make the thing that is in front of them look engaging. And one of the ways that sensory stuff specifically becomes a lot less scary and a lot more engaging is when we have tools that children can play with that. So that could be something like tongs, it could be spoons, anything like that, that children don't have to get all in. There are some children that, you know, I'm sure you all know a child like this as well, that they will just like dive headfirst. They'll like want to cover their body in the rice because they love it so much. And that's also fine, as long as you have put up like an area that you're going to be catching all the mess, and to make it easier for yourself. But then for the other children, and a lot of children are like this, that they're a little bit more hesitant, and we don't want to be like forcing them so that it becomes something that they're not actually enjoying. So you can do this in terms of something like that's more structured, like with these cards from the swag bag, or you can do it with something that's completely unstructured. Children love things that are sensory when it comes with little cups or little saucers or spoons and cups that you have, even their drinking cups, all of that kind of pouring action. It really invites them into really engaging play, and it also really activates those play schemas, specifically of like watching movement as the rice falls and transferring things into different cups or different kind of containers. It can be also like stacking cups or little boxes or anything like that. So that is our rainbow rice. I would love to know from you guys, specifically now, not with the rainbow rice, but with this sheet. Do you have any ideas on how you would like to use this, on how you have used sheets like this before? As a therapist, this was one that we had. I would always make ones for our motor groups if we had like a theme running, because it's a great start to a group, especially when you're doing an obstacle course, that they lift up the card and then they carry it around and they put it. And it often is like activating the vocabulary and the topic that you are learning about anyway, according to whatever theme. One of the things that my children have recently really been loving is doing this standing on like a bosu ball. We have a bosu ball that we bought it. It didn't get a lot of use, and now suddenly it's getting tons of use. So when you put them on the floor around your child, they need to bend down, and it's really activating all of those hip muscles, which is so important, especially in day 4 and 5 of the conference. We're going to be talking a lot more about this like physical side, and some of the changes that we're seeing around the APA, the American Association of Pediatrics kind of recommendations, but also around just this generation of parents. It was really interesting to talk to a lot of physiotherapists and hear the need to be exercising our hips and our core and all of that. So if you put that on a bosu ball and then you can kind of bend down and then pick them up and stick them somewhere higher, it's really fun. And for younger children, they don't need the bosu ball, right? Because just the bend and squat, you know how children love to practice that. It's so great for them. Okay, so I'm going to read out some of your ideas. You could do a picture walk or scavenger hunt in the classroom to find the pictures hidden in the classroom. I love that. Or an I Spy bulletin board. That's so fun. Bowling with cards on the bottom. Oh, that's so fun. And beanbag beanbag tossers on top. That's really fun. I love using tools, especially things from family like the kitchen, the spoons, the scoopers. Oh yeah, kitchen supplies are like such a winner when it comes to children. Hey, okay, so I'm gonna let you drop us some more information about if there's any way that you would be using this from our swag bag. And again, if you haven't grabbed it, it should be in your email somewhere, the link to come and find it. And today we had some amazing talks within the conference. We had Carrie Ebert, which I know you guys all love her. I've gotten I think close to 100 emails. I love Carrie Ebert. So we love her. She's amazing, and her talk was just really inspiring about building executive functioning skills through play-based learning. So fun. I know in the VIP section, she also shared some ideas on how she kind of incorporates this. And one of them was saying these sounds. I must have, hi Lane, nice to see you. I must have gotten, at least 30 emails about, I did the wah-wah sound from the activity that you talked about. So really, really fun and powerful talk. We have Laura, also another speech and language therapist, who's talking about those first words. We have Dr. Cindy Hovington talking about from meltdowns to coping strategies, some of the more emotional and behavior sides of this age and this developmental stage. Mandisa is sharing some mess-free sensory bags and bottles, which were so beautiful. I loved her ideas. And we have Jennifer and Kay. Actually, Jennifer wasn't with us in the interview, but they are a team from TechWise Littles talking about screen time, which was really a great talk, I felt. I really liked that it wasn't, it's not an easy discussion, I think, screen time. I think a lot of the time when we start talking about screens, we actually leave out the reality of that we live with screens now. So I really enjoyed chatting with Kay specifically about screens. And tomorrow we have another amazing lineup. But one of the things that I wanted to pull out, and I would love to hear your thoughts in it, you can comment here on the thread, you can comment in the group, whatever suits you, is this idea of our assessment informing our instruction. So if you listen to Carrie Ebert's talk specifically, she spoke about how she was working with, I think, a kindergarten class, and how they had started to reframe one of the report cards more towards executive functioning skills. And one of the things that I thought was so interesting about this, let me just, sorry, parched throat. One of the things that I thought that was so interesting about this is that it's so easy to kind of get in a habit of using certain assessments when we don't necessarily have any plan to use the findings from those assessments. So generally, if you look in society, if you look in the world, any kind of assessment that we're doing, it has a really distinct purpose. So if you think about going to a hospital, and when you go into an emergency room, you are triaged, right? There's a clear kind of protocol that is being followed in terms of understanding which group you would fall into. Are you an emergency? Can you wait a few minutes? And often when we do therapy from and of course I'm saying this talking to educators and therapists mainly in this part of the talk, but definitely for parents, we can also start to look at this in terms of our own children too. When we look in therapy, often we're looking at a child specifically, but the broader picture of what our therapy is, it is more holistic in terms of helping the overall needs of the population that we're serving. So I remember a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago, actually, now I'm telling my age, I was working at a school, and we had a kind of an orphanage that opened up right next to our school. It wasn't a center necessarily, it was a village. And so we had moms living in homes with 8 or 9 children that became her children. And this was all built in a very patterned kind of circular way, very telling, very African based in these different homes. And this organization grew when we started working with them as an outreach from our school. They grew from, I think, 30 children to 300 in I don't know, the space of a month or something like that. And they were in the situation where they were saying like, where do we need to like put our bang? Like where the bang for our buck, where do we put it? Like, are we supposed to be doing remedial school? Are we supposed to be having special education classes? Is everybody supposed to be in the same class? Like, everybody's coming in with different abilities. How do we even start? So I was working with an amazing speech therapist at the time. We went in, we assessed in like a very screening kind of tool, all of the children that had entered the program, and then gave them feedback on what we thought that they should do going forward. And obviously they brought in a extended team as well, and kind of decided how they would group out their education program, which blossomed and grew and is like just such an inspiring place now, with special education classes, with remedial classes, with normal finally learned how to chat. Oh, Charlie, nice to see you. So it had special education classes, it had remedial classes, it had the mainstream kind of classes, and then supports, throughout for each individual child. But when we are doing therapy or education or looking at any kind of programs that are supporting children's development, we often can get lost in the singular or get lost in the routine of an assessment. We need to like mark off that we've done ABCs or 1, 2, 3s. But if we look, like Carrie was saying, at like this big picture of development, if we can rework what our assessment is and how we are approaching the group, it actually will inform our practice in a more refined way. So I would love to hear specifically in the group, I will open this up, and specifically I think from educators or therapists that are working not just on an individual basis, but more within organizations, what your thoughts are on this and how we can start stepping forward to be supporting assessments that look at this holistic development as well as play. I was just reading a research article before I jumped on here, and it was talking about how observing play as part of like an assessment is done by like so many professions. So they did a kind of table, and they looked at who does like actual formal assessments on play, who does different forms of assessment, and the one was just like observing play. And it kind of touches almost all of our professions, because we do definitely consider how a child interacts, how they engage, as something so critical for their overall development. But it would be great if we could be seeing this more in the kind of discussions that we're having and the practice of how we approach children. So I'm just going to read some of your comments before we go on. So Kristen, you said, love reframing report cards as what does a letter grade or SNU really mean in K or first grade. Having progress related reports is very helpful. I so agree, and I think that it also it allows us to connect the child with reality in a very special way. Julie, you said you couldn't find the free PDF for Mandisa's talk. Okay, I will double check on that. I know that the link wasn't working. I have reached out to her, and hopefully she'll let us know what to do there. So don't forget to subscribe if you are listening to us on the YouTube channel. And if you are here live, don't forget to tick off your bingo card for joining us live. I did want to tell you a little bit about tomorrow. We have another amazing lineup, which I'm so excited about. It's really such a privilege to bring together all of these speakers. They are incredible people, and just fun to always connect with and chat with. So we have Kaylee Noland, who's going to be talking about toddler shoes and also about barefoot walking. Really interesting. We have Jamie, who is doing a spring inspired play workshop. I know you guys are going to love that one. Heather Grootman, who is talking about visual perception in the little years. If you've never heard of visual perception, please do yourself a favor and come to that talk. It's another one of those areas like executive function that just kind of gets lost often and is really important in the little years. We have Christina, also from Toddler Approved, also doing some low prep play ideas. Again, really fun ones. And I also have my talk tomorrow where I'm talking about Montessori inspired shelves, and specifically in the VIP section about how we can use that for home programs and homework for children. So I see another comment here. I'm just going to read it out to all of you. I would love to see a change to how we assess children, the report and report that out to parents. But unfortunately, we are tied to standards to qualify children for our program. So not sure how that would work. That is such an interesting question, Kayla. I 1000% agree. And I think that, there's a lot of talk within like the developmental realm of like, do milestones matter? I think that they do. I think that sometimes standards are important to have. I think that there is also a space for how that's communicated and how we can start changing over the raw data of what we see into the functional aspect and life of a child. I'm going to open up a thread in the Facebook group talking more about this topic of assessment informing instruction, and maybe talking a little bit more about communicating that. We have the most amazing audience here. As you guys email me, I see all your names underneath all of your job descriptions and titles, and I just received so many emails from you guys saying that you have like 30 years experience in this and 25 here, and you're a retired physio, or we just have like really a wealth of people with us. So I'm excited to see what kind of conversation comes up about this. And I'm going to leave that at that for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for the live, and I will be available on email and also on the Facebook group. So if you have any questions at any point, just reach out. The support staff about accessing, if you have a VIP ticket, about anything specifically, the support, like tech related stuff, please email me. But then all of the sharing and learning and stuff, that can be in the Facebook group. Another comment, since EF is developing in the years of 3 to 5, should we be encouraging parents to wait and send their child to kindergarten until they are 6 in order for them to be more prepared for learning? This is such a great question. I'm really interested. B, can you share a little bit about what what profession you're in? So this is like really nuanced. There is so much good information about children benefiting from structured learning programs. Does that mean that this is for every child? Does that mean that this is suitable for like that? The pros and cons and the availability of what could be happening at home is different. Not at all. Like obviously this is very, very varied. However, I think on the whole, when we look at, specifically in preschool, but then kindergarten as well, that structured learning does have a lot of benefits. Our teachers are amazing. Our people that are working within the education fields are really such a gift to our children. I think that we, especially in spaces like this, in the conference, we're really wanting to just push it forward, right? And adapt to some of the changes that have happened in policies, kind of switch those over a little bit and really be, again, refocusing on the whole child. So B, you said you're in early intervention. Yes, I so agree with this, that parents ask ahead. I know with the parents that I work with in Playful Pod, this is something from birth, and I agree with this one with myself as well. It feels like you need to kind of decide from a really young age. I don't think that you need to decide from a really young age, in case you're a parent listening and you're wondering about that. I think that you actually can, just whether you're choosing to homeschool or send your child to a private school or a play school or all of these different types of education that we have available, I don't think that you actually need to decide on that. No, I think that you can have time. But I think that in terms of executive function, you know what? I think I'm going to open this up to the group. My opinion is no. I think that if we focus anywhere, it should be in empowering more our school systems. But I will open it up into the group because I would love to hear some other thoughts on that as well. And that's a great question, B. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks everyone for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tick off your bingo cards and come and join us in the group. It has been so fun. Bye, everyone.